a drink and get comfortable, because the Reel Hooligans are about to drop some movie knowledge on your ass. And now, here's Tim and David.
All right, Hooligans. It's that time. The moment we've all been waiting for is here. The Snyder Cut has arrived. David, welcome back.
Finally, Tim.
Man.
We get another shot at doing a show we did 4 years ago.
Yeah, this should be interesting, dude, because, our very first episode was
number one.
Was Justice League. And see, here's the deal. From here on out, I say this. There is no Justice League. There's Justice League and the Snyder Cut. We haven't been given a Justice League yet. A proper Justice League. See, as far as I'm concerned, Marvel could take Avengers and do something completely dumb and fucking crazy that I'm like, I'm not all about what you just did with those characters. But you know what? You laid a groundwork for everything that kind of laid that base level for the universe. And now they can expand on it and branch off into their little multiverse and do all these weird...
Yeah, the crazy shit people didn't see coming.
But it's like, this is just an example of a movie that just got ahead of itself.
From the very beginning.
And lost control. So anyways, we're going to get into that today. Thanks for joining us. If you've, hopefully you sat through the 4-hour version of, not quite 4 hours. I was a little pissed off. There was 20 minutes of credits. I mean, come on.
Sure.
Isn't that the way we're supposed to do this?
Yes.
Wait, what? You told me 4 hours. I don't understand people complaining about end credits being included in runtime. When did that become a thing?
I don't know.
That became like a weird thing during WandaVision. Did you notice that? People were complaining about how long the credits were?
I did not pay attention to that because that's not something that interests me in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's like it's like a weird complaint that people had, and it was like, just stop watching.
Yeah.
And
you have a fast forward button if you're looking for another scene.
What's the issue?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so all right, you have 5 questions.
Always.
All right, let's do it.
Who's your favorite Superman actor?
You know what, man? I'm going to say Henry Cavill.
Okay.
I'll be crazy about this.
I was going to go this route in case you went the Reeves route.
I think it's very easy to say Reeve, because he was like the first, but I think Henry Cavill is an amazing Superman that hasn't quite been given the proper outlet.
Yeah.
But I think it's there. He's got the look. He's got the physique. And I've seen him, he may not be like the greatest range of actor, but you don't have to be for Superman. And I've seen him do enough kind of comedy and, serious stuff to know that he can balance it both very well.
Okay, so for the sake of the argument, I'll go the other way and say Christopher Reeves. I mean, when you think about Superman's personality and mannerisms, just his Clark Kent's goofy, not fitting in any situation, he nailed that. He really brought Superman to life for generations of comic book fans. For a long time, that's what we had. Yeah. So there will always be that connection.
I'll even go this far. Is there a worst Superman? Because Brandon Routh wasn't a bad Superman either.
No.
He was actually a pretty good Christopher Reeve universe super, because he was supposed to be that character still. Again, it was a bad movie.
Yeah, not great.
Right. So, I mean, it was like a love letter to that, that character and that.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I think we can all agree that Dean Cain is shit and we hate him and he's the worst. I even like the new guy on Superman and Lois, which tune in and watch that show. It's entertaining. It's fun.
I haven't yet. I plan to.
Tune in and watch that show.
I plan to.
But he's pretty good, and I like. So I like this new guy. But Dean Cain can fuck right off. If you're listening, Dean Cain, you heard me right.
Fuck off, Dean Cain.
He's not listening.
He's not listening. Don't tell Dean Cain.
Please tell Dean Cain. I would love to talk to that guy on Twitter.
Yeah, he can talk to us. All right, number 2.
Rank your 3 best Batman.
Ranking the Batman actors?
Yes.
Okay. 3, Ben Affleck.
As number 1?
3.
Oh, number 3.
2, Christian Bale. Number 1, Michael Keaton. Adam West is on another level, though. He just is. He's above all. So Michael Keaton, number 1. Christian Bale, number 2. Ben Affleck, number 3. With Adam West hovering above them all, and just nobody ranks
just
me.
on another plane.
Nobody puts me in a ranking, you know.
If you could recast an actor from Justice League,
wait,
who would it be?
Who's your ranking?
Oh, sorry. I like Christian Bale in my 1 spot. I think he did a really great job.
Okay.
I'm going to go Keaton in the number 2 spot. That's just my childhood Batman right there.
Sure.
And any one of the animated voices, any one of them, you could slot in any one of them in my 3 spot, and they outrank all the rest.
All right.
So if you could recast one of the Justice League members, who would it be?
The Flash.
You don't like Ezra, or the character of Flash in general?
I just don't really, and Ezra was better in this movie, I'll say, but I still am just not a huge fan of him. So I would go with him. And I'm getting very close on Jason Momoa. Although I like him overall, I think I'm over where you were with the whole bro shtick.
So that would have been my answer, Momoa. And it's partly because of Aquaman, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just never going to succeed for me because I just hate Aquaman. So it's not going to work.
And this is just another case where it's just like, what is Aquaman bringing to this?
Nothing. He shows up in the sewer with his little staff. Hold back water. All right, whatever. So that was my follow-up question then.
Okay.
Was who would you dump? What character would you get rid of to see a new character?
Cyborg. I would dump Cyborg. I'm bored by him. I don't care. And partly
I can understand
because that dude was whining his ass off for the last 2 years. But I again, like you with WandaVision, I didn't see anything here that was like, yeah, okay, give me more Cyborg.
Right. I'm still sticking with Aquaman.
Although his fuck sounded a lot more natural than Batman's.
Yes. All right. Name another movie by any other director that you would like to see a Snyder Cut type addition to. If somebody could go back and remake their film years later with the help of the internet, thank you, Reddit, what movie would it be?
Maybe I just want to see the original version of Solo.
Really? That's a good choice.
Yeah, with the one that Christopher Miller and Phil Lord, right? Is that the names?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing against what Ron Howard did with it. I still like that movie. I think it
was fun.
I mean, but it kind of plays the same as the Justice League did, where you can kind of tell there's two things kind of going on at once at some point. So, what about you?
Ant-Man. I would have liked to have seen the original story that would have come from that. Who's the Simon Pegg's friend?
Edgar Wright.
Yes, Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
that would have been a fun one to see.
All right.
All right, 5 questions.
Cool. 5 questions.
All right, let's jump into this thing, man.
All right, so what was that? 4 years ago? Was that 2016? 5 years ago. 5 years ago. We've been doing this show for 5 years, brother.
Long time, man.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
5-year anniversary. So we'll just call it that. All right.
We should just do a thing.
Woo! So, all right. So our first episode, we had like 4 other people. No, 3 other people, because you were one of the 4.
Yes.
And then you just were always here.
I just kept coming back.
Yeah. I don't know, man. So where do we start here? Okay, so long story short, I'm sure you already know the story that Snyder was making Justice League and his daughter passed away, committed suicide.
It's terrible.
So Snyder took a leave of absence. Snyder was removed from the project to go deal with family issues.
Sure.
He was pretty much done. I think it was pretty much done.
Nearing the end.
He was pretty much done filming, and they brought in Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
The Avengers guy.
He's going to get it done.
To finish the reshoots. And what he did, he ended up going back and reshooting some of these scenes. Not too incredibly differently. More than anything, he just tightened them up so that, you didn't have... Anyways, so we'll get into my theory on Joss. And anyway, so then the movie was terrible.
Awful.
And it was so bad. Yeah, and you could tell, like, it wasn't like a horrible watch. Like, you're like, it's not awful to watch. There's fun parts. You could see that there was like something there. I mean, because you have fucking Batman and Wonder Woman. And pause this because I am having. All right. Where were we?
I don't know.
Okay. So dude came in, blah blah blah, and it was a bad movie. And so our first show covered what a piece of shit was. And what
that was a long show too. It was like 2 hours of us just shitting on Justice League.
It was just such a disappointment because for years we've waited for a movie that gave us these characters on screen together, and we got this muddled fucktard of a mess. And it was very, you could tell, a lot. Okay, I want to say my first thought on watching Snyder Cut was how it is the same goddamn movie.
The plot and such has not changed. The initial story issues are still there.
Man, even a lot of the humor that everybody thought was Joss's humor was still there. I mean, some of that stupid shit like Flash is less neurotic. He doesn't stumble and fall on one woman like a fucking ape, shit like that.
He's not a complete, what's the word I'm looking for, Tim? Coward in this movie.
Yeah.
They didn't turn him into some kind of little teenager with powers. I mean, he had some substance in this one, which
a little bit more,
was a little more in line with what it should have been.
Yeah. All right. So there's kind of the history. So here we got the Snyder Cut, and fans for years have been throwing a fit. And I think that's using the term very loosely.
We're so tired of
throwing a fit.
Kicking and screaming.
Threatening. I mean, there have been death threats over this goddamn cut of this movie.
Yes.
This isn't just, like the Avengers built their universe and then made Infinity War, and then the Russo brothers died in a plane crash, and the movie was like half released, unfinished. We didn't truly get to see their vision. It's not like that happened here. Let's not forget, he made a very mediocre Superman movie, a bad Batman versus Superman movie, which I still think is the worst of all of these movies because it had the biggest responsibility. And that was being the first Batman versus Superman movie.
Sure.
Dude, me and you could piss out a better movie than that right now.
I'm pretty sure I have.
So, and then he got into this, and Warner Brothers just did not like his vision at all. And I think they saw what he was doing. And then this man went through this personal crisis that I can't even begin to understand. I can't.
There's no comprehension.
I have a daughter. I have 3 kids. I just can't even put myself in a position to imagine what that feels like.
No desire.
So I can't. His mindset, what he was going through. I'll never judge him for any of that because that's a whole thing, man.
I know that I couldn't go to work if that happened to me. I couldn't. There would be no functioning on a high enough level to do a job properly.
Right.
So I get it. I get absolutely.
Sure. Either way, it seemed like at the time Warner Brothers used it as an excuse. Why don't you go take some time off? We're gonna do our version of this movie. And so they brought Joss Whedon in, who was coming off his bitter experience with Age of Ultron, so he was a little pissy, and apparently a total asshole on the set.
By all accounts.
Joss Whedon's getting like no fucking love from us here today. You know, you hear Kevin Smith talks a lot about this movie. I don't know if you see this.
Yeah, and he's been one of the babies kicking and screaming.
Well, I mean, at the same time, he's been a good mouthpiece, though. Sure. Because, you know, he knew a lot of people through, like, Star Wars sets he'd visited that also worked on this movie. So he just kind of was somebody who had experienced communication with these grips, like an impartial.
He got to see a very unpolished version of the Snyder Cut long before the rest of us.
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah, the whole ending. Yeah. I was like, Kevin Smith told me that ending like 2 years ago. But, you know, apparently he was, you know, an asshole. You know, Joss Whedon showed up on set and was just like, you know, this looks like shit, and was just making fun of shit. And it's just like, dude, it's still people's hard fucking work.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with the stylistic choices anybody's made, these artists, these effects people, these lighting people, these people that have built sets, shit like this, they've worked their fucking asses off for this, you know? So I think he just went in and was just a dick. What's his face? Ray Fisher has gone on record saying that he kept referring to Diana as Natasha, which...
That's a dick move.
Ray Fisher we'll deal with here in a few minutes, and we won't spend a whole lot of time talking about his issues. But he had his own very personal issues with Joss Whedon that, you know, unfortunately for him, didn't come out till this was kind of re-announced.
Yeah,
and he kind of used, I don't know if he kind of used it as a way to get his own attention now.
Let me get all my scenes back.
Yeah, so.
I don't know.
So, big fan campaign. People have been throwing fits. And what happened was COVID.
Boom.
HBO launched HBO Max, and or Warner Brothers, whoever you want to say, you know, Warner Brothers Media launched HBO Max, and all the movies were shut down, and they were freaking out about having new content. And I think that just kind of was like, what if we put all, you know, because they had all their DC stuff, you know, that was part of their whole thing by bringing this in. And I think they saw that as a chance. Well, we kind of have something that's kind of newish, that's got some demand to it.
That's a lot of subscriptions right there.
Yeah. And especially because they were in that transition where they were ditching the DC Universe app.
Yes.
And
it got absorbed.
And moving that over onto the... on HBO Max. So, they gave Zack some money.
A lot of it.
And I don't know, man. It's like sometimes it's like the worst thing about the internet is the crap you read, that, you know, all the differing stories. And it's, I think, just always going to be Hollywood filmmaking and movies getting made. Is you'll hear there's always going to be at least two sides to every story.
Sure.
Or three, at least. There's his side, this side, that side, and the truth. And then there's all the opinions around it, the filter. But... So, I don't know. They gave money to finish it. Finish the effects. Finish the movie. Shoot a bunch of shit. I don't know. Because at one time, he was talking about shooting a lot of new scenes. And it seems like HBO was like, no, why don't you just finish what you got, dude? So, we got this. A 4-hour, self-gratifying version that is far from a version we would have gotten in 2016.
Yeah, this was not the same thing that was going to hit our screens.
Which is like, it's very important for people to keep this in mind, because these fans that have thrown fit should pat themselves on the back for A, it getting done, and B, some of the choices he made.
Yeah. He did not do this on his own.
Right.
This was a crowdsourced final production.
Yeah. So, now, I did think, like I said, it was interesting that how much of it was the same.
A lot of it. And
how, like, you know, a lot of things that people, like, he didn't call them the mother boxes.
Yes.
That weird shit. So you have, like, Steppenwolf is still the bad guy. Then we have Darkseid,
who's just a hologram for 95% of the movie.
Who we're going to talk about here in a little while, who I think is a fucking pussy. Oh my God. What a fucking non-threat. Fuck this dude, man. I did think Steppenwolf was better.
I disagree.
Okay, I thought he looked better, but still bad. Because I agree, the pieces moving was stupid.
His armor
but he looked
was
better.
distracting and dumb.
Except for his little face,
his tiny head. Yeah.
Oh, and I've seen side by side comparisons, and I'm like, yeah, that looks better, but they both look bad.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And his little face on that big head was just cracking me up because it was just like horns. A perfect little punching spot. You know, it was like the perfect place to just be like, right the fucking punch him right fucking there.
And then they jacked up his voice. I don't care for the change in his voice. It's just
as a
weird.
character and motivation, there was more to him here. Although the thing is, he was just such a little bitch. He just he fucked something up and was like, "Oh, I gotta make my boss happy again." So he just kind of was he's a little bitch.
He was the way that he cowered on his knees in front of Darkseid. It just took any fun out of trying to have a good time with him. At least before he was a bad guy. Now he's just kind of a little baby. It's no fun. I just don't buy into it.
He's a little bit more ferocious. His attack on Themyscira was a little bit more.
Oh yeah, he messed some shit up.
Yeah, I mean, it was the violence or the action, whatever. I think it is violence in Snyder's case. It was better. I will say that the action was better here. But yeah, dude. Okay, let's talk about Darkseid though. Now, this is the whole thing about this version of this movie is we're getting what would have been the introduction to Darkseid. Darkseid is the guy that's pulling
the Thanos
his strings. Now they took a scene in the original in the Justice League. We saw Steppenwolf coming to Earth and fighting everybody.
Yes.
Reality was in the Snyder Cut, it's Darkseid coming to Earth. So about an hour and a half into this 4-hour movie, we see Darkseid has come to Earth before, fought all the Amazons and the Atlanteans and
Green Lantern Corps.
One guy that was there that just shot energy. He can do all kinds of things with his ring, and he just shot beams of energy.
Pew, pew, pew.
Okay.
But hand.
Yeah. Anyway, men. Everybody. Was. They fucked him up, dude. And they showed his ass fucking crying and
crawling back to
shit. But I'm like, okay, so you just fucking whooped this dude's ass and you're showing him bleeding, laying down like a fucking pussy on the floor of his ship, and now we're supposed to be scared of him?
Yeah.
Because now he's only coming back because Superman's dead? What a fucking pussy. So then after all that, we'll get back to this, but skip to the end. Steppenwolf dies, and he tries to get through the boom tube or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're just left kind of Wonder Woman lops his head off as he's boom tubing, and they're all just kind of standing there like FaceTime, for a second. He's looking at them. They're like, fuck you gonna do about it, dude?
Come on, let's go.
And he just kind of goes, and closes it, and then goes, oh, we'll have to go back to Earth. It's like, fuck you, dude. Go take care of that shit right.
Yes.
I do not want to compare this to Marvel and the Avengers, but you know what happened when that dude rolled up to Thanos? Like, man, Earth's got some motherfuckers. He was like, let's go to fucking Earth then.
Yes. Thanos stepped up.
And you know what? He didn't go right then. He actually waited until there were some more motherfuckers.
Let you get the whole gang together.
I mean, yeah. And he went twice.
Yeah. He was not afraid.
Not going to get into the comparisons, but that's the comparison.
But we're going to make a comparison here.
But that's what everybody's doing. You're reading these all night. Oh, man, it just shows how much better. Stop comparing. They can both exist, and we can like them both. But Darkseid was a pussy.
A little bit of a bitch.
Okay. Where do you want to go next, man? Let's talk about things we liked about it. Because there were things I liked.
Aren't you sure?
Yeah. Okay. One thing, this is going to be the theme of this show. Because every time I say something I like, it's going to come with a but. I
love it, Tim.
I liked the score a lot better. Let me get my IMDb pulled up again real quick. This is the Junkie XL guy. What's his name? You remember? It's Tom something crap. Can't think of his name off the top of my head. I liked his score a lot better than the combination of what they bring in, Danny Elfman or something.
Thomas Hulkenberg.
Yeah, thank you very much. His score is a lot better. Bringing back that Man of Steel theme. That's a great fucking theme, dude.
It is.
That is a great theme. And
I like Wonder Woman's theme. I always have. Man, when you hear that Wonder Woman theme, you know, okay, everybody in this room is
You're in
done.
trouble now.
You're done.
Yeah.
It's going to happen in slow-mo. Super slow.
So much slow motion. But the other thing was about this, I liked the score, but the songs, the orchestral, there was like every time they showed the Amazonians, they played that ethereal music. Dude, it was such shit. And it surprised me because Snyder appeals to me visually as a filmmaker. Like when I watch his stuff, like my eyes always like what I'm seeing because he's a very visual storyteller, you know. And he always incorporates, you know, I will say typically he incorporates music so well, even if it's like cliched music, you know, it's usually done very artsy and
I'm fighting the urge to sing it, Tim.
You know,
I'm over here. Control it. Don't do it. Don't sing it.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? Like even if it feels contrived, it still looks good and poetic, and it's just like okay, this is good. Visually I do like it. It's appealing, but man, this one not so much. No. Like what the fuck was it that chick singing when Aquaman left?
Yeah. I have no idea.
And then she was like huffing his sweatshirt. And what's
I don't want to say it, but that was a creepy cult moment, a cult of Arthur Curry. But yes, she was smelling his sweater and
singing a weird song. Oh. And how is that dude always stripping clothes off before he jumps in the water, but coming out of the water in clothes again?
I don't know. He's got a closet down below.
How much fucking time does it waste to create that little oxygen bubble for them to talk in?
What is the point? You live underwater. Why do you need an oxygen bubble to talk?
They didn't do that in the Aquaman movie, did they?
Yeah.
Did they? They had to still hold on, and they had to like create the bubble.
Yes.
You could never walk up and be like, hey, David, guess what I just saw, man? They're bringing Different Strokes back. There's another Different Strokes reference. But no, I had to be like, hold on, this is me creating the bubble.
Yes.
And it's...
Because we've seen them talk underwater. Yeah. We know that they can communicate with one another underwater. So I don't understand the point. Whatever.
Okay. Wait, I said things I like.
I know.
Superman was a lot better in this movie.
Superman was great. Yeah. I enjoyed Superman.
And again, I want to see Henry Cavill.
Give him the right movie.
I'm curious to know what's really going on because he's still under contract, although he's really not part of their plans. And I think it's because he won't make cameos. He doesn't
like doing cameo. He doesn't want to do the drop-ins.
I don't think he likes the idea of Superman being relegated to just the pop-in.
And see...
But how weird is it they don't know what to do with him? I mean, I'm sorry. How fucking hard is it to do a movie about Brainiac? How is that not the next obvious step here?
There's so much source material.
So much, but how is that obvious?
Yeah, so...
Well, we've done Zod like 8 times. Just, if only there was like anybody else. Well,
Let's do Luther again.
Something. Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, there's like dozens of characters in that rogue gallery that you could use, but how about we just start with Brainiac? Yeah. I mean,
here's my money.
But I'd be down for him showing up in a Wonder Woman movie. Absolutely.
He can show up, but see, he's the same. We're not making comparisons, Tim, but he's the same as Captain Marvel. They're going to face the same issue. You just have a character who is too big and too powerful, and it's just so hard to do anything interesting around them when you know that they're always just going to get up and win. You know, at least with
as long as you keep him away from kryptonite.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Or if you're a bad guy, you better hope you find some kryptonite.
Yeah. But it's never going to work out in your favor anyway.
But I thought he was a lot better.
He was. And
blah, black
Did you
suit,
enjoy
though.
the black suit?
I was fine with it.
Yeah.
See, he changed the suit changed color. It was never he wanted to do black. He didn't film it black.
He just changed it to black later.
Yeah.
When people said black suit.
No, at the time I remember him saying he wanted to do the black suit. He has since gone on record saying it was the studio saying nobody wants to see the black suit, which I roll my eyes at, saying they were that controlling, but it also wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, that's a brand.
I do have friends that worked on Justice League.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did they provide any insight? Were they able to tell you some details?
Yeah. I won't mention names, obviously, but my sister is friends with somebody who is married, and they're, to a guy, and they're both in the film industry. He worked very specifically on this, and one time we all got together and we had a very long conversation, and he said he at times like, this movie's a fucking train wreck. And this is before it came out.
Yeah.
I think that was before Snyder got fired. He was like, it's a train wreck. He's like, they're constantly hiring people and bringing people in, and he was saying, and he would say on set, he's like, nobody knows what they're doing. Most of the time we wonder if there's a script.
Wow.
So.
Ouch.
Yeah. I mean, so it was, there was a lot of things going on there, unfortunately. And sometimes I'm like, man, I watch this, I'm like, Zack Snyder, I think, could make a good movie with these characters, but it's like, I think you have to have somebody that like writes a script for him.
Did you just let him direct it?
Maybe.
Just put it together.
Because it's like visually and like action wise, it's like he does have like, what he's good at applies to this genre. You know what I'm saying? It's his own world building that just it's just too much, I think. And they obviously tried to do too much here too quick. Whether they admit it or not, they tried to keep up with Marvel.
Yeah, they were always going to struggle with introducing this many big characters together all at one time.
Yeah.
I mean, there just wasn't enough build up to that moment.
And there's a great, one thing I do like about this movie is the end of this movie is that fight. It's much better.
Oh yeah, the action is much better in this. It's much better shot and put together. I think the way that it's edited this time around,
there's less
feels
bickering.
Much better.
There's less bickering between the characters. I mean, they have some like, are you sure about this? They argue points, but they don't, it's not bickering. And the energy between the characters is much better, and it helps going into that final fight. And the big difference of the ending here is the Flash involvement.
Yes.
Which is amazing. I mean, there's a moment where they, the whole point is Cyborg's trying to get to the mother boxes so he can separate them. And in this version, the Snyder Cut, he doesn't get to them in time before they unite and create the unity or whatever. And it annihilates like everybody but Flash.
Yeah.
And like right before he dies, he does his pops into the speed thing. I still don't like the way he runs when he
flips his hands
with
out.
the hands. And I think one of my kids was like, I read that that's like an aerodynamic thing, and I'm like, really, waving your arms? Maybe, I don't know, but I've never heard of like runners.
We don't see sprinters doing this.
It's like I've never heard like an Olympian going, yeah, it's because I wave my arms like I'm a wacky arm wobbler, But anyway, he has this great moment where he taps into the Speed Force, and
they introduce something here.
Yeah, I'll let you talk.
A good moment of world building because they introduce something very key to the Flash universe, which is where his solo movie is going. He bends time.
Yeah.
He runs through time. We get to see everything kind of rewind itself as he gets to the mother box and Cyborg to transfer this, massive amount of energy. So I do appreciate that they set this up, and I think it was a good touch in this one. It didn't feel overly forced. It didn't feel, too fan service.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
The downside to this is now we have to let Ezra tell Flashpoint, and that doesn't fill me with hope.
That and just do something else.
Well, I wish they would do something else.
Yeah.
Flashpoint is not the story to kick off Flash.
But see, that's kind of where I'm going with this, and where they just got so ahead of themselves, because this movie wouldn't have been so bad if I had, what did we get before? Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman, and then this.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman even came after this. Aquaman. Zach Levi. Chuck. What's his name? Shazam. Oops. That didn't turn into him. Okay.
That would have been so awesome. That would have been so awesome,
shit,
Tim.
I didn't know you could do that.
This would have been the hottest show on the internet if you turned into Shazam.
I'd never said it before until then. That was amazing.
Oh, my God.
But we only got those movies. But if you had given me, one more Superman movie, and then that Batman vs. Superman, give me Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and a Flash movie, and set these characters up. If we had gotten that ground setting, and then you gave us this, where now they all come together, and you get that moment, that would have been amazing. I mean, you know what, man? Probably would have given me some tears and some emotions, and whether or not I agree with how fucking hardcore he likes to be just to piss people off, which is kind of what it seems. Sometimes it seems like he's like, I'll do it because fuck you. And it's just like,
it's edgy.
No, don't do it because fuck us. Just make a good movie instead of just, anyway, but yeah, it would have been amazing. And it was still cool to see. I mean, and so for me, that was probably my favorite part of this movie was the ending there. And you kind of got that, and even just the way Steppenwolf went out.
Yeah, right up until the epilogue. I didn't need that.
Up until the epilogue. That was going to be my next thing, is talking about this fucking epilogue, which has been his whole, like, ooh, let's build on his nightmare sequence. I'm like, what? Are we building on Batman's dreams? Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah.
Because isn't that all these are?
Dreams.
These are just dreams.
He's just having dreams. Visions. I don't know. Are they trying to predict the future here?
It's just, it's so, okay, so the whole thing is, Darkseid wants this anti-life equation.
Yeah, whatever the hell this thing is.
It's a math. So
I don't give a shit.
So you're telling me that you're going to build an adventure? You want me to be excited about this guy coming to Earth looking for a math equation, and they've got to find it first? I don't understand. I mean, equation is an equation, no matter.
Yeah, this is dumb.
No matter how, you can't be like, no, it's a stone. Okay, that's not an equation. But apparently what this does is it gives him the ability to control free will.
Yes.
And with this, he's going to use it to control Superman and thus be able to destroy the world. So if he's able to do that, then apparently we would have a universe where Batman and Deathstroke, who would then have a mohawk.
Yeah. Old man Deathstroke.
I like Deathstroke. I was looking forward to Affleck's movie that would have been a Batman Deathstroke movie, because that was different.
Yeah, that would have been great.
And Ben Affleck's a great director, so I was interested to see what he would have been doing if he would have been given the freedom that Matt Reeves is now being given. He was not going to be given that freedom. He's a good filmmaker. Stop arguing with me.
I'm not arguing with you.
Anyways.
You got not a word out of me.
No, you made that face, though. You make this face when you're like, I'm not going to say anything.
Exactly. I'm focusing on not saying anything. Ben Affleck is a fine filmmaker. I don't care
he's not
for the
Batman.
films that he makes.
Okay. Okay.
That's my
You
problem.
like The Town?
It was all right.
Yeah, that's good.
It was all right.
It's a good movie.
So
I got you.
and I don't think he's a great Batman. I think he makes a better Bruce Wayne than he does Batman. And his voice in this one, they did the Christian Bale thing where they jacked his voice all up and Batman.
I haven't liked his voice in this.
No.
The kind of robotic sounding thing he's had going on. I haven't liked that.
Fat Batman. I don't care. I don't think he makes a good Batman. He makes a fine Bruce Wayne, not a great Batman.
He wasn't so fat in this because it wasn't shot out of order. Remember, he was only fat in that last one because he wasn't in Batman shape when we got called back. Okay, so you have this world where the first scene was Deathstroke meeting with Lex Luthor, which was in the Justice League, except in that one they were setting up the Legion of Doom.
Yes.
In this, they were very specifically setting up that Affleck movie. By him, he was telling him who he was.
This is Bruce Wayne.
So, I don't know. Maybe I still would like to see that movie. Deathstroke.
Sure.
Be a great villain to see. And here we had Flash Thompson playing Deathstroke. Joe Leone.
Wow, did we find your Jon Favreau?
Shit.
Did we find it, Tim?
Maybe. Mangiello, whatever it is. Okay, so that dude. Yeah. So then we have the other one where he shows up and it's Batman, it's Deathstroke, it's Mira because my God, this woman.
We need her in everything, don't we?
Yeah. I could do without her, dude. And then we'd have Cyborg and the Flash, which for a second I was like, who's the fucking robot, dude? It was the Flash.
It was the Flash in a robo running suit.
Cool. So and then they're with the Joker. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, this is like a movie you're setting up.
We live in a society.
He didn't say that in the movie, though.
No, he didn't. It was,
I was
just
so
fan
happy.
service for the trailer.
That actually made that scene better for me because he didn't actually say that. Because
were you waiting for it though? Were you like,
it's such an eye-rolling way because I didn't get it when I first saw the trailer. I was like, oh God, Jared Leto's in this.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, that. But see, I was like, oh, that's just a meme thing. That's only what that. I mean, I knew what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it was not even like from Joker canon. It's just a thing. It's just a meme, and that fans again have been going on angry writing campaigns trying to get that written into something, and have unsuccessful. Oh, they were apparently very angry that they couldn't get Joaquin Phoenix to say it because they felt it fit.
Boo hoo!
I'm just like, I'm tired of fucking Star Wars fans, Marvel fans, DC fans.
Fans are the worst part of everything.
Fans that are canceling petitions. I'm over it.
Whatever. Moving on.
Anyway, so I'm just like, this doesn't sound like an interesting sequel to me. Lois Lane I don't need a movie that evolves around Lois Lane dying.
I'd be okay if Amy Adams was gone, though. I don't really care for Amy Adams.
Who's the best Lois Lane?
Man, I don't even... Do we have a best one?
Is it Kate Bosworth? Just because she's kind of the hottest one, or?
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Margot Kidder was the original.
I'll go Margot.
I mean, they got Erica Durance from Smallville.
I don't know the lady's name. I'm basing
them on hotness here.
Okay.
Terry Hatcher. Again, strictly on hotness. Otherwise, no, I don't think we've seen a great. I mean, I don't know. I think that they feel like as long as they do where she has typos, I think they feel like this is the strongest Lois Lane character, and she likes Superman.
It just doesn't work for me.
All right, so with Lois Lane, we also get the introduction of Martian Manhunter. The scene between her and Martha was in the Justice League. But here, this time, when Martha steps out, her eyes light up red.
They glow.
And you think, ooh, who's that? And then at the end, dude just show. Oh no, she does transform.
Yeah, man, we get a swirly cape thing going on.
She does immediately transform to him, and then
into the general
instead of just leaving as Martha. Great. So just
maybe his next appointment was as the general.
I mean, maybe there's like somebody waiting outside. He's like, oh, I gotta. Anyways, so then he just like Martian Manhunter just rolls up on
Bruce Wayne's cottage by the lake
at the end, and he basically is just like, thanks, man, for I don't know,
saving us all.
Yeah.
And by the way, I want to be a part of the team. Can I?
I'm in.
I'm signing up. I'm ready to do this.
I like Martian Manhunter, and again, it's something that I don't necessarily want to see this universe continue, but I do want to see Martian Manhunter involved because I think he's a fun addition to that dynamic.
Sure.
Vision.
Essentially. Can we talk about Robin?
Yes.
I don't like that they shoehorned this in there with the Joker.
That he killed.
That they brought up a death in the family.
Yeah. Comic.
They've referenced Joker, beating Robin to death and Batman holding him while he dies. They didn't earn that in any way.
It's just
leading up to it.
It's just a reference, yeah.
It's just a stupid fan service reference.
And they had his suit in the other one where it's all painted up.
Yeah.
I mean, they've hinted at it, but that was the first time they've really just
given us
that's what happened.
Nothing in regards to a reason to care about that storyline. So to just jam it in there to say, haha, look, we know, we read a book. We read one of these really, really famous Batman books, and we talked about it. That's cheap.
It is, because we're never going to get that.
No.
I mean, down the road, maybe they could do.
Sure, somebody else will.
Yeah.
But it won't be tied to this. So to throw it in here is just...
And that's what I don't like about the Snyderverse. It's references. You're not giving me anything.
Easter eggs.
You're not giving me anything. You're not showing any of this. You're just acknowledging that you know about these storylines.
Yeah.
While you're giving me worse storylines.
There are a lot of people that would have watched that in the company of someone else and been like, what was that? I mean, they would have had no idea what they were talking about. That moment that is so... deep for a lot of fans.
Yeah, it's just like, ooh, he killed Robin. I mean, that's all they get out of that.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah, I mean, and it's even just the same with throwing that reference to Harley in there. It's just,
yeah,
that's just because she's a popular character. Now everybody knows that Harley died. Okay, where's Green Lantern? Are we going to talk? I mean, how long could we have this conversation?
Yes.
I mean, there's other characters I'm worried about. You've got fucking Mira walking around with me. Give me a fucking break right now. All right. Anything else you want to cover with this movie? I
think we've pretty well thoroughly.
I mean, I didn't want to trash it. I did. It is a better movie. It's too long.
I will agree. And I went
I'm
in
not
with
saying,
the
I'm not
negative
saying I'm not going to watch that last hour or so again, where they go fight Steppenwolf. Sure. I could do that.
Yeah, that tag team on Steppenwolf was pretty great.
Yeah, there's stuff I like here. What are the odds? What percentage odds do you give any continuation of the Snyderverse?
I'd say about 75%.
Wow, really? That high?
Yeah, well, the problem is there are a lot of eyes on this and a lot of streams.
Man, just for a weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Most people don't care.
But
they either saw it or they didn't, and they don't want to see another version of a bad movie.
Yeah, but a lot of people are on the other side of this. Oh my God, the Snyder Cut made it a good movie, and it's the greatest thing, and I can't wait to watch more of this. So there is a good contingent of fans that, you know, are all on board, have bought into this wholeheartedly.
I think it's over 50%. I'm not sure I'd go as high as 75.
I think somebody's going to see dollar signs somewhere.
I think they would really have to see some and be able to point to directly this. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I just don't think there's, I don't know, man. I think mainstream won't have any interest in seeing that next chapter.
Yeah. I just
again, dude, I don't want to see those people in a movie together. That does not appeal to me. And if you can't appeal to me,
yeah,
this movie still appeal. I was generally excited to sit down and watch this movie, as much as I knew it was going to be just a 4-hour version of the same movie with just some darker scenes.
Yeah, I really wasn't looking forward to it.
I was excited. I mean, just from the car wreck.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
you know, but I did go in expecting it to be a better movie. How could it not be? I mean,
yeah, that bar was set very, very low.
We clearly went in and pissed all over everything that was being done. And, you know, I mean, but it's easy to see when he looked at it how he could just go in there and be like, yeah, dude, you don't need most of this. You know, a lot of his reshoots were just done it was tightening scenes.
Yeah.
Getting to scenes quicker.
Up.
I'm going to have them say this so you don't have to say all of this. And then we'll just get to it quicker. Because they said, give us a 2-hour version. That's, you know.
Chop it down. There is such a thing as an editor.
I just assumed that the dumb way they brought back Superman was Whedon.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like what they did with Ultron. Not Ultron. Vision in Age of Ultron. But no, it was just as dumb in this version as it was in the other one. So that's what amazed me. I was like, oh, wow, all this dialogue is the same. Because, you know, he said, I'm not using anything that Joss shot.
It's all his own.
You know, he cut out some of his own stuff. Like, you know, So I Hear You Talk to Fish. That was him.
Yeah.
That was Zack Snyder. He just didn't have it in this version.
No. Somebody online made fun of that joke, and he took it out.
There's a few lines that I know for a fact were, you know, that were out that were, kind of those butt of the joke. But I didn't mind that I Hear You Talk to Fish because I think it's a very relevant thing to say to fucking Aquaman.
That's what all of us are thinking. We're all thinking
I hear you talk to fish. How can you be fucking helpful in a fight against aliens, dude?
Bro.
Yeah,
I said
okay. Well, all right. What's next for DC then? So we got
the Batman.
The Batman's coming, and man, how long do you expect Robert Pattinson to stick around? Because apparently he's not getting along with Matt Reeves.
No, and that's been trouble from the start. They have had issues with it.
Yeah,
with each other.
Yeah, I almost just expect them to just say fuck it and do like Batman Beyond after that.
That would be great.
And then bounce from Superman
Keaton.
stories. Yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. They bounce from just, you know, if they just do Superman's different Batman stories, I mean, then they don't have to necessarily build a trilogy, which I don't think they need to worry about right now. I feel like they're on a right track right now where they're more worried about making these movies and these characters than bridging them all, even if they end up being able to do that down the line. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Good stories. Just tell good stories.
Yeah, just do that, man.
Because DC, you have the content.
Shazam 2's coming?
Yeah, Shazam 2's on the way.
They're doing the dog movie? Bat Dog or...
I don't know.
Super Pets, or it's an animated thing.
Oh well, that's all right.
Elizabeth might like it. Get your baby girl in there to see that. So, all right. Well, hey, man.
Thanks for making it through 4 hours of Snyder Cut with me, Tim.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over. I'm glad. I think I just would all like to move on and
can we put this behind us?
Hopefully, they can make just better movies from now on.
Yeah.
Just
go make a
and that goes
movie.
to all these studios that are trying to, build these universes. Star Wars, Lucasfilm, get off the filmmakers' back. Warner
Just let
Brothers,
them do it.
stop tinkering. That's one problem. Is they just keep fucking with it, man.
Yeah. We know what fans want.
I think that's what they did with 1984 too. And I think remember when we said they were like, oh, they're gonna fuck with 84. It's coming.
Yeah, it without a doubt, it always does.
It did. So I don't know. But you know what, man? I love these characters. I'm always gonna watch what they do next.
I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna
I
keep,
want
I'm gonna keep
you to do
giving them a
better.
chance. I mean, I gave this movie a chance.
Sure.
You know, I thought Justice League was horrible. I did not want to watch this movie, but I absolutely wanted to watch this movie at the same time. So, all right, man, follow us on all of our socials. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. I don't know. We just post our episodes and shit. Follow us. I'm Real Tim English on Twitter.
DMC Keeper.
Okay.
What's next?
Fuck.
coming next?
Next week, Lady Snowblood.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, and then after that,
We're all gonna...
the Battle Royale, brother. Kong versus Godzilla. Godzilla versus Kong. How'd we spoil this ending? I think because I said the director tipped his hand.
Yes.
Was that just my comment in that? Jenny was like, what did you guys say? And I'm like, oh, that's just fucking Chris. Not that he's just fucking Chris, but, you know, I was just
No,
like...
he is.
But, you know, I mean, I was like, that's just... I was like, I'm assuming that's what I thought. I was like, it just had to be because I said that the director...
Once we all get the shots, I want to have Chris and Alan back in. I want to duke it out with these guys
Yeah.
again. I miss them. I miss having live people in the studio, Tim.
Yeah, we've got plenty of room down here now, so...
Yeah, lots of room for activities.
Yeah, man. Oh, I didn't get my little fucking DC guys out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have Cyborg. Shock.
Oh, I see Batman and Superman up there.
Yeah.
They look nice together. Oh, lots of Batman up on that shelf.
Oh, yeah. I've got lots of Batman dudes. Me and my Funko collection.
Oh, yeah, there's more Batmans over there. And there's pretty much Batmans everywhere I look.
All right, David.
Yes, Tim.
Been real, been fun.
Always.
See you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the sexy spot.